In Pakistan's mountainous far north, 51-year-old Tariq Jamil is measuring the ice movements on a steep slope of glacier. His village, Hassanabad, is an hour's hike downstream, and the 200 families living there are increasingly under threat from unstable lakes formed by the melting glacier. Himalayan glaciers are on track to lose up to 75% of their ice by the century's end, and Jamil is on a mission to protect his village and their way of life. Jamil's village is part of the UN-backed GLOF2 project, which helps communities downstream of melting glaciers adapt. Since 2017, weather stations and rainfall measuring sensors have been installed. When glacial lakes overfill or their banks become unsound, they burst, sparking deadly floods that washed out bridges and buildings and wipe out fertile land. The project has deployed speakers in villages to communicate warnings, and infrastructure like stone and wire barriers that slow flood water. Jamil's village has had close calls from floods. Over the past 3 years, residents repeatedly evacuated just in time to avoid loss of life.
शुरू का अयाम है जब ग्लोफ इवेंट हुआ था, बहुत ज़्यादा खौफ हरास था लोगों को नहीं पता होता था कि हमने क्या करना है, कहाँ जाना है, कुछ भी नहीं। तो उसके बाद फिर ग्रेजुअली लोगों का और गवर्नमेंट का, NGOs का अटेंशन जब जूँ ही हमारे तरफ आया, और मुझे 4-5 साल से कम्युनिटी के अंदर काम करने का मौका मिला है। हमने बहुत कुछ खुद भी सीखा है और हमने कोशिश की है कि कम्युनिटी को भी थोड़ा सा अवेयर करें सैलाब के दौरान या उस सैलाब से पहले क्या करना है, कम्युनिटी की अपनी जिम्मेदारियां क्या हैं।
The threat is all too familiar for Zahra Ramzan, who lives just a few hours away in Chalt village. She lost her 11-year-old son last year when he was swept away by a torrent of black water rushing down the valley. Residents said the village has had little information about the risk. Ramzan now gets nervous whenever there is heavy rain or flooding, refusing to allow her surviving children out of her sight.
Amitang kasmani afatan dim ketete mulujar buta arabsus me vile kukhtu da akhilan mani da mena aulader mani no sujara but taglipar me vile da ja aulad amlir nimen ke amli besan manu mane jar but tension me vile ke da hikka akhilan mani ne je but khaw bulu da washaba.
According to a study, 15 million people worldwide are at risk of glacial lake flooding, with 2 million of them in Pakistan. Some 800,000 people in Pakistan live within about 9 miles of a glacier. With leaders gathering for the UN's COP28 climate summit, pressure is ramping up on wealthy countries to fulfill promises to help developing nations.